Hey guys, it's Amber, and I'm getting ready to work on day 22. It's going to be a simple looking layout, but it has some stuff going on. So I'm telling the story of new Christmas music for the year. So I've told stories about Christmas music so many times that I don't tell my favorites anymore. Now every year I add new music to my album, or like new to me. Sometimes, I find like an old gem or something. So I was trying to look for some paper that would allow me to put several photos on, and I found this craft version of the tag paper. I had already used the red version for day, look at my notes actually, my work party was the 14th, so at least it's a pretty good chunk away, and it'll be in a different album also. I have 7 photos that I'm going to be using. I just found the album covers. I think I actually screenshotted these from my Apple Music, printed them 1.5 inch square, so that they can fit inside these little tag spots really easily. Just give me an idea of how they're going to fit on there. So I was originally thinking about making this a 2-page spread and doing like real big CD kind of looking covers, but I decided to just go smaller and go with layers and make it kind of more interactive. So I have this craft paper here. These are 2 cards from the Paisley Press Kit that are gold. 'Tis the Season and Hearts Filled with Cheerfulness. So I'm going to use those on 2 of the tags. I'm going to use some of this pattern paper here. This is Crate Papers collection from a while ago. I'm thinking about layering this Joy on there. This will be a tag that swivels. I'm kind of treating this a little bit similarly to the last one, where I'm using similar numbers unless I find something else. So I might have to look around because these don't fit quite as well as the last one because it had a 1 and a number. And I'd like them to stay within the tag. Sorry. I'd like them to stay within the tag frame without having to layer them or cut them. So we'll see. The other thing too is I'm going to be working, I'm pretty sure, on the back of, let me confirm. Yeah, I'm going to be working on the back of 21. So unlike the last one when the holes were on this side, the holes will be here, which I'm fine with. This is like almost nothing. This isn't really a big deal. So this can be a full size something where a little photo is on there. And then this can be a tag. So I need to fill 7 spaces. So I'm thinking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and maybe 7 here. That one I might cut out and let it swivel. I'm debating because it's kind of heavy. If not, I'll layer 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If not, I'll layer like 2 together under one of them, maybe with some journaling. So 2 of them will have 2 layers. So I'm definitely going to try to use these vellum tags this time, I think. At least 2 of them probably. And then let me see what else I've got going on here. So I pulled out this transparency piece. It was also from the Paisley Press Kit in case I wanted to do something like this. I thought that the weight maybe would look cool, and I could use a little trimmed off piece for one of the other pieces or squares there. I also grabbed this Floral. This is a 3x8 transparency from last year's kit. Again, could use it as a transparency base. That's what I did last time with stars. So I had pulled that out. But instead of trying to completely repeat, I thought maybe it'd be fun if I could make like 2 tags out of this Floral, plus it's the same gold. I also pulled out this vellum that I used on day 20. And it has a similar look to this tag, so I'm not sure yet. So I just kind of pulled out some stash to see what I want to do. And then I wanted to use the golden numbers, so I thought for fun I would number the photos 1 through 7. So I pulled out both of my gold numbers to consider which one I want to use, or I could mix them up. I was thinking about Deck the Halls. This heart could be fun because it is a lyric and I never got a chance to use it. Or I think I used the die cut version. So I was thinking maybe I could layer a heart somewhere on one of these tags. And then I also pulled out this. These were both from the Advent calendar. I have Are You Listening on here. And there's also a follow lasso. I'm considering if there's something I can maybe do with those. There's also an Oh What Fun. So I could potentially maybe use those to layer some numbers. So I grabbed those. Some other pattern papers I considered besides this one were some of this green Creative Imaginations with like the music notes. I thought that was kind of on trend, but I didn't really love the color. I really love that floral, and I think I used that floral in the last one too. And then I also have this Vicky Bouton star paper, and the stars have music notes in them, and it's just really bright. So still considering it. It's not off the table. And then last, I want to emboss these numbers again if I still use these like I did last time. And I think I'm going to use my Distress embossing glaze in Rustic Wilderness. So apologies there. For some reason, my first video cut off, and I decided that was a good place to edit where like I was in mid-sentence. So next steps are to take the vellum tags that came in the main kit and use them as my stencils. And I did the same thing for day 14. So I'm going to start trimming down all of the pieces that I already know I'm going to be using here into this tag size, and I'm going to cut up that crepe paper and use this little bit of scrap on the edge there. It's kind of perfect because I can get 2 more little tiny pieces out of it. Not that I didn't have more of it, but you know, use what you have, fit in there perfectly. So just kind of showing you how I'm working here little by little and getting everything sized down in the known cards. So then I decided to go ahead and get my photos trimmed out because I really wasn't sure where I was heading next, and I wanted to kind of see what they looked like laid out on the tags. But I'm going to end up only at the very end only having 3 showing and 4 being kind of hidden under the tags in layers. So, but I wanted to be able to lay them out and see what it looked like. So I did decide to use that Fa La La 3x8 transparency from the 2021 December Daily Collection, and I was able to lay it out in a way so that I was able to get 3 tags out of it, which was really cool. I like doing things in sets of 3 if I can when I'm doing these kinds of projects. So it helps draw your eye around the page. So like right now I already have the greenery in a set of 3. Now we've got the gold vellum Fa La La in a set of 3. I only use 2 white tags, but the white joy word kind of also acts as like a third item. And I decided that I wanted a little bit more of that floral paper, so I have it in a larger scale. So I trimmed a little smaller piece of that for that bottom corner there. So I'm just kind of going through the motions of filling in the pockets, basically only their tag spots, adding that Deck the Halls heart like I discussed. And I've jumped ahead a little bit here because I've already added and glued down quite a few things, including that floral transparency from the Paisley Press Kit in 2 places. And I'm considering using that Fa La La vellum, but I'm going to opt not to and only have that part be blank. But now let's get back to the photo treatment. So I used some pop-ups foam tape here to give these a little bit of dimension, and I decided to have that one go off the page a little bit. It's the only one that gets cut, but I did 3 of them on the front like I had mentioned. The Taylor Swift one is underneath that tag on the bottom right, and then the others are going to get layered. So here I decided to go ahead and use the gold numbers. I want to say they're from 2021, but I'm not sure. So just layering those in visible places. And then here I'm going to label this one as 5, but I'm going to end up changing it to 7 just because it's by itself. So I decided to make the other ones 5 and 6 and then have this one be 7. And I'm also going to layer my journaling with this one as well, which you're not going to see me fill that out. I'm just going to do it off camera using a Slick Writer pen on top of one of these vellum tags because I really wanted to use them up. Especially since I don't have any more of these tag pattern papers left. I used both that came in the main kit and the specialty paper kit. So I didn't really feel like I needed any extra journaling for these. I felt like this was kind of obvious. It doesn't even really have a title. But hopefully the music kind of makes it obvious and the journaling will help. So there you can see I've got the journaling written out, and I'm using some gold sparkly star brads that are from Michael's to help make those swivel. I'm also mounting the bottom vellum tag down, and I had the adhesive behind the photo. And there you can see I'm just using my paper piercer to punch a hole. And then I'm going to get it positioned correctly where I want it, and then punch all the way through all the layers. So you'll see here that I'm using some red line tape. Basically, I got the star brad in the position that I wanted it to be in, and I didn't want it to spin, move, get really loose. Basically, you know, I'm hoping it will help support. I know that the tags will move because they're paper in a hole, obviously, that can rotate, but I'm hoping that by the brad not rotating and being able to move much, that it will prevent it from getting worse. So last, I'm just adding some tabs here to help make it look like these can move. I'm just going to use my stash, staple them in place, and then in a moment I will leave you with a live look. So I hope you enjoyed taking a look through the process video for this one. Okay friends, I'm all done. This one actually took a while, just had to do it layer by layer. I'm happy with how it came out. I decided to leave this one blank instead of using the Floral underneath it. I didn't want it to be too messy and busy, and this one was also blank, so I felt like that was fine. I need to stick this to the back of the other page, and then I will punch the holes since the holes have already been punched. I did have to move this one over a little bit so that it'll clear the holes, barely, but that'll be able to be moved. And then I have the tabs on these to move. I did tape the back ones down since I could. It just give me something to, one less thing kind of like flopping all around basically. And then same with these guys up here. So I'm happy with how it came out. I think it came out really cute. It does have a couple photos and then the rest are hidden. I like the way these came out as well. It's a glaze, so it's kind of more see-through, so I had to do it a couple times to get some buildup of color. And it was weird because as I was heating it, it seemed like it was almost like making the edges disappear. But no matter how many times I redid it, it kind of kept going away again. So I don't know if it was the angle I was holding the heat gun at, but decided I didn't have any more time to really mess with it. I just let it go. So, and it came out a little bit darker than I was hoping, but overall I think it looks really fun and I am really happy with it. So I can't wait to see you soon for day 23. Thanks so much. Bye for now.